Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, February 14th. We're looking at Window Traders ES, Window Traders market profile of the ES and NQ. I left early today. Right now it's around 5:40 Eastern Time. I left just after 2:30 today. Well, once again, the market continues to amaze and delight children of all ages. We took back a lot of that gap. I didn't think it would get filled today, and it didn't, but we took back over $3 of it, still a little bit over $1. NQ took back a bunch of theirs. Righty goes out with a trend day up. I'm trying to think, and Righty looks like they just missed filling their gap from yesterday. So Righty goes out. Look at this. They were 8 for 8 wide, never got 9 wide when they rallied. So they're going out basically with just a double distribution day, and they're still holding the gap from yesterday. NQ goes out with a 9 wide POC and a price probe or price spike. ES goes out with a 9 wide POC. Same thing, price probe, price spike. Right? The market attempted to spike above B. M came in pretty good, so I'm just using L's highs as basically as the base of the price probe right up here at around, actually I'm going to move that up a tick to 1150. That's where the base of the price probe is. I had a good day before I left. Both sides of the market, a lot of it from the long side though. Again, the market early on was accommodating, readable. I did not expect when I left the room at 2:30. I thought we lowered POC earlier today, and by the time when I left at 2:30, I thought we might attempt to raise it. We never did. And I thought by that happening, we would not go and take out both sides of the IB. This is becoming incredible. This is the 17th time out of 31 trading days we've taken out both sides of the initial balance, right? Pretty interesting. Now, NQ did raise their POC late in the day. So the bull that refuses to die. Remember, we were talking about a possible outside week down. Now, look, everything's still on the table. We have 2 days to go, right? Here's last outside week down would be below this level. But don't forget, with 2 days to go now, last week's high is over here. So if ES was to close above that, they'd have an outside week up again like they did 2-3 weeks ago. Remember, SPY is still up on the weekly. Triple Qs is still up on the weekend. I misspoke last night. NQ did take out last week's low, but barely. So basically, the question is, was that a look below and fail last week's low? Well, the way we closed yesterday and the way today acted, it's a good chance that that's the case. I took a long in NQ in A period to get the overnight high, which paid very nicely as it got some nice energy and momentum to get that. Then in ES, I took a short. I had a nice trade in ES. I shorted it to fill the gap. By the way, that's 1 out of 7 upside gaps that have held this year. So I took a short to fill it, and as soon as it filled it, I turned long in ES and did well on that. So nailed them on both sides of that trade in ES. Then in B period in NQ, as soon as we, 2 trades I took. One when we pulled back right above the opening worked, and then to pop A's high, to pop the top. So 2 longs in NQ and B period did well on those. Now, C period, now we did go trend and failed up again. So that now has held only 6 out of 24 times, 25%. But the ebb and flow trade was kind of working. And when they came down and filled the single prints, I took a long and did okay on that. Then there was another one that came down. I did it again. I broke even. NQ. In D period, the ebb and flow short was kind of working initially. I made money on the first one I did, and then the next one ended up breaking even and losing small on that one. They were not really getting a good push down. In ES, I took a long in E. I thought we would stop the one-time framing down. We didn't in E period. Took that off for break even. And then in F period, this was a nice one. I was eating lunch. It pulled back. I took a long at 76, made money. And then I had a bid in at 72, and it only got down to 72, actually 73. I'm going to have to change that too. My lines are off a little bit, right? The overnight low is 73. So I missed it by a point, and it rallied pretty hard off of that. That would have been a nice long. And then in G period at NQ, I took a short against the opening, thinking that could be an afternoon rally high. I did well on that. And then in ES, my last trade of the day, I took a short in I, thinking that could be an afternoon rally high. Got above the opening, I took it off. Now, we did come in pretty good after that, but I had taken it off, and then obviously we rallied after I left late in the day to go out with a price probe and take back a bunch of the gap. NQ's gap gets filled. Again, I'm in bigger increments around 937. So NQ still has about just under 50 points of their gap from yesterday to take back. As far as destinations, so for SPY, 499.07 is the day's high, and then filling the gap at 500.24. So it's $1.17 left from yesterday. And then our all-time high at 503.50. That's it. There's nothing inside. If we fill the gap, there's nothing inside of this day's range till the all-time high. So on the downside, we have our price probe. L's high at 498.21, 9 wide at 496.04, and today's low of 494.40. Now ES, the high, again, I wrote this wrong. I think it's off a tick. See, I have these in big. You know what? Let me go to this one. This one is in ones. This will be easier. So the high is 2050 in ES for the upside. And again, the gap gets filled. Not at ends low. Right? We don't count that. That's after hours. Gap gets filled at 33.25. Our POC is F's high. Well, before we get to the POC, our price probe is 11 1/4. Our point of control 9 wide is 89.50. And then you have today's low of 70. It is 72.75. I thought it was 73. 72.75. And then let's check out the chart. So here's the weekly. SPY never took out last week's low. Just missed it. ES did barely. And now we're trying to get back towards last week's high. Remember, SPY is still one time framing up for 6 weeks. That's after 9 weeks prior to that. So this market is still chugging along, okay? And the daily, this is now, I'm incorporating this as one huge balance. Well, actually, I'll use yesterday's low as the bottom of it, not this day's low. And I'll use the all-time high as the top of it. So remember, yesterday we just came into balance. Today we took out yesterday's high. It's still balance. We have to take out the all-time high to go back up on the daily. We have to take out yesterday's low to go down on the daily. Volume, not great at all, 68 million. So a far cry from yesterday's volume. Think about that. Yesterday was the third heaviest volume at 113 million. We're going to be doing 70 million today when we're up just under 1%. Hope you had a good day trading. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this channel. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.